Hello again, welcome to another edition of the Real Ale Guide, joined by Rob, Hopzine.com.
Hey.
Check him out on his blog. Do you blog daily? Are you a daily blogger?
No, to be honest, once upon a time I used to write more than I recorded videos. Now I record videos more than I write. I think it's just a bit more fun, isn't it? Doing
yeah, it's a lot. I really enjoy it. It's really addictive, isn't it? Doing beer reviews. Today we're doing a bottle of beer which Rob kindly sent me, and it's from the Elland Brewery, and it's their 1872 Porter, 6.5% ABV, bottle conditioned. I'm guessing the 1872, is that something to do with the recipe, when it was found, or when the brewery was made, or...?
Yeah, just a historical recipe that they found.
Lovely, okay. I am really thirsty tonight. So
yes.
We've had the heating on all day. We've had problems with our central heating, so it's been on and off all day. It's about 20 degrees in the middle of winter, so I'm absolutely baking and thirsty. So let's get into these beers.
I'm sure this one will warm you up a bit as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Wow. Oh, it's got a kind of a bit of a tiny little bit of a like a funny green haze, is it, when it's pouring?
No, mine kind of looked a bit more, maybe you're lighted, mine looked a bit kind of chestnut coloured, but when you get more of it in the glass, I mean, it is black, if not really dark brown. What do you think?
Yeah, very, very black now. As I was watching it pouring out the bottle, it seemed like to have a little bit of a hint of green to it, but no way, it's definitely very black. You can't see through that. Well, there's a hint, isn't it, of redness?
Yeah.
There's a hint of redness in this. Nice. I like the colour of the porter heads. I really like the colour of these. It's kind of a tanned head there.
Yeah, a real nice, tight, fizzy head.
Yeah. Should we get the nose?
Absolutely. Mmm.
Oh, wow. That is roasty, isn't it? Plenty of coffee.
Yeah, I'm getting quite a lot of kind of red wine qualities as well.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, certainly is, yes.
There is a, I don't know about you, but kind of like there's a mintiness in it, which is slightly surgical. You know, that kind of like, it's what footballers, well, definitely, rugby players used to rub it on the legs.
Yeah, I
Stop
know.
you getting cold.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of it now. I used to play rugby. I used to use it myself.
That kind of slight mintiness, but that's
Yeah.
just in the background. I don't want to make too much of that because it's more about, I'd say, as you said, coffee.
Yeah.
Vinous red wine qualities.
Berry, maybe, yeah, some dark berries in there.
Yes. So maybe some like sour cherries, a hint of that like dark cherry kind of quality.
Yeah. I like to call these kind of a Christmas cake in a glass, where you know it's really, really lots going on.
Yeah, a bit of kind of not smoky, a bit more kind of bit like burnt wood the day after a bonfire.
Yeah, yeah. I'm ready to go, mate.
Yes, me too.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, that does hit the spot for a porter, doesn't it?
Yeah, it just keeps coming, doesn't it?
Yeah. And still now, it's building on the back of the tongue. The bitterness is there now. It's really pulling through the bitterness.
Because initially, there's not much there straight away. It's quite, it's not that full-bodied really. I mean, a decent amount of body, but it is a porter opposed to a stout, so it shouldn't be too viscous. But initially, I don't get a great deal. It's a relatively watery sensation start with.
Yeah, I quite like that in a stout, to be honest. It's very thirst quenching.
And then it really creeps up on you.
Absolutely, yeah. Wow, it's very nice and bitter. It's not huge like an imperial, because it is 6.5. I mean, it's only 1.5% away from being an imperial stout, really, isn't it? So
yeah, sizable.
But you mentioned that red wine. There's most definitely a nice pull with that as well.
Yeah.
There's a nice flavour with the red wine. And the coffee is a very nice mix. It's a very nice balance.
It is very balanced. The coffee is real kind of bitter espresso. But I think at the same time when you're getting that bitter espresso, I think you are getting a bit of a hop resin, maybe not hop flavour, but that kind of resinous bitterness you get from hops. I think it is in there because this is all English hops. Is this?
Does it say what hops are in there? Does it?
No, I was on the website earlier. I think it's First Gold, maybe Fuggles or Goldings, and maybe Challenger. I might be wrong, but interestingly, I don't know if you're picking this out because I am a bit, but it's one of those situations where you've been told something's in it. But I think this was on Rate Beer anyway, on the little heading. It said there is molasses actually added to this.
Oh, right.
So you do get that heavy kind of dark treacle quality in there, definitely.
Yeah. I think it's jam-packed full of flavour. It really is full of flavour. And I don't think it's one you can session all night. I reckon I could do 2, maybe 3, which I mean is pretty good for the ABV. But it's not a stout you probably want one of either. I think you'd want like I say, you want a little bit more. I reckon 2 to 3 pints of this would be ample, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because as we've said, I mean, initially it's very drinkable. Then you get a load of flavour, and it's not too strong that it's going to do you in if you have too many.
Absolutely.
I mean, I've certainly had a couple of pints in this in an evening, and then some other things, but then felt a bit worse for wear. So you want to give it a bit of respect because it's a sizable beer.
It is bottle conditioned, but it's very dark to see. I mean, I poured the whole beer in. I often do that with a dark beer. If it's dark and it's bottle conditioned, I often throw it all in. Yeah,
I'm going to shock you, but
okay.
I often add the sediment to a dark beer.
Yeah.
Yes, and you know me, I'm very anti-sediment.
Yes, I mean, I found that I probably used to be a little bit. When I first started the reviews, first started the bottle conditioning, I had a book sent to me, and I was reading this book, and it said it's your own preference whether you want to throw the sediment in or not. And over time, I found if you have like a pale ale or an IPA, I find it better if it is out now. I do find it. So the preference is for me now to leave it out.
Yeah, and a lot of breweries do say one way or the other, don't they? Some will say it's up to you, but then some will say leave it out.
Yeah. I'm really enjoying this. I really am enjoying it. Thank you very much for sending. You sent me Summer Wines. Can't think of the name of it now. Covenant. That's it.
Covenant.
So a couple of Colonel beers and a few other bits and pieces which I've been so eager to get into. It's another beer which I knew it was going to be, the range that you sent, I knew they were going to be good quality, very, very good quality, and this really is living up to my expectations. This is probably one of the better porters I've ever tried, to be honest.
I mean, you seldom see it in bottles. I mean, it's one of those beers that you'll see on draft in pubs periodically. It's always on local beer festivals because it's a real local favourite and a national champion as well. I mean, it's been very highly regarded for a couple of years now. I mean, this was probably, the head brewer I think he's still the head brewer. I'm not going to say he definitely is. There's a guy called Gordon who's the head brewer. I've met a few times. He's one of the loveliest men you'll ever meet.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably the brainchild of Dave Sanders, who was the brewer at Elland for a long time, and is now the head brewer at Kirkstall Brewery.
Oh right, fantastic. Do they have a strong bottled range, Rob? Do they do IPAs and?
No, not really. I mean, it's this is the beer that they're kind of renowned for. They do have a range of probably more traditional kind of cask ales, bitters, but you do also get a lot of. They do a Brewers Reserve series where you get. I remember having a really, really good American Robust Porter because Gordon, the head brewer, I think he his background's in chemistry. I mean, he's a very talented brewer, and I think when they're given the opportunity to do something really exciting, they do pull it off. But I think because they're a local brewery, they do often stick to kind of traditional kind of English ales. But this one's definitely been a big winner for him over the years.
On that note, I'm going to give out their website, which is www.ellandbrewery.co.uk. And I strongly suggest, if you can find this in the bottle, really go out and look to try it. Could you give a rating on this, Rob?
Yeah. Interestingly enough, when I last judged at Seba North about a month ago now, and as it turns out, on the last 3 beers of my category were Hopzine's New Zealand Pale Ale, Infrared from Hard Knot, and this. Obviously, we didn't know it at the time, but then only 2 of us preferred this beer to another beer, and this one actually ended up winning that round. So, I mean, without knowing, I know I like this beer. So, less waffle, but I'd say it's a 9. As far as porters go, it's a really, really strong example of a porter.
Yeah.
How about you? What's your rating?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. I think to be able to find this beer and with the Seba judges competitions, you don't know what you're drinking. To be able to score this highly and then come on and review it and give it a 9, I think it's very solid. So I think I'm going to join you on a 9 out of 10. It's a very, very solid. Well, it's more than solid. It's quite brilliant in that it's not a 4 to 5% stout or porter, and it's not an imperial porter either. They've actually found a nice balance in between at 6.5%. It's one that you could really have a couple of. So yeah, it's very strong for me. So 9 out of 10. Rob, could you give out your sites and so forth?
Yes. So my main website is hopzine.com, not Hopzine, hopzine.com. And you can find me on Twitter at BGRTRob or Hopzine. And obviously you can find me on YouTube at youtube.com/Hopzine. Thank
you very, very much for joining me.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you for the range of beers. They've been absolutely, well, they're always eye-opening. But they've been really, really top-notch beers you've sent me. Join us for another collab. We'll probably fit in about a good few this year, 2012. And cheers.
Cheers.